Hey, I'm back. I decided I did want to post my coming out story. So let's see. I'm gonna back it all the way up because I would say I knew I liked girls when I was like 4 years old. There was like a neighbor. I don't know how I knew some of this stuff, but there was a neighbor, and I thought that she looked like a lesbian, or probably because my mom used to say stuff like that. They're lesbians over there, or whatever, and just make little comments, and I kind of got my mind to churning. But I was four. There was a neighbor next door, and my mom said she was a lesbian. I was just so interested and intrigued, and I just kind of, I guess I knew I liked women, or not women, but girls at the time. I knew I liked girls. I knew it was different, and that was the extent of it at the time. Um, I would have friends, and we would practice like kissing on each other and stuff like that. And that went on a whole lot. Um, as like middle school, not really a middle schooler, but late elementary school, like kissing girls and stuff like that. I did a lot of that playing. I used to pray about it because my family, my mom's a Jehovah Witness, and she's really serious into Jehovah Witness, and I kind of wanted to be a Jehovah Witness too. I wanted to please her, and I've always had this love for God, always. So I wanted to go to Bethel and be a Jehovah Witness and all this stuff. So I used to pray that I would stop liking girls, and I was so convinced, you could not tell me otherwise, that by the time I was 16 I would not like girls anymore. Like, it was definitely just going to go away overnight. So let's see, elementary school, kissing girls, that passed. In middle school, I think I read somewhere, it was kind of weird, like my sexuality kind of shifted over to like guys. I was all of a sudden boy crazy. I know I did have one crush, but it was like on one of my female track coaches, so it was just a crush. And because I thought she was gay. So I was just kind of pretty much intrigued by lesbian women, or women that I perceived as lesbian. Um, so I had a crush on her, but throughout middle school, I was completely interested in guys, completely. I did not have sex though, which, thinking about back to how like sexually charged I was, it's amazing that I did not have sex. But I guess really at the time, Oklahoma girls, we weren't having sex in middle school. We just really weren't doing that. We were kissing and messing around, but nothing going to the next level. Um, but so early freshman year, I moved to Georgia, and so Georgia was completely different. It was, the guys were really disrespectful. Not to mention, I'm in high school, so I'm dealing with like an older crowd, more mature crowd. Because Oklahoma's kind of behind, so kids that are in way more stuff. I'm literally like socially probably freaked out, and not really engaging with kids that weren't athletes, because I was a basketball player, so I only hung out with athletes for the most part, and they were a little slower than the kids that didn't play sports. But the guys just really freaked me out. They were so aggressive. It was, hey, shawty this, and just so disrespectful. And I was always raised that people need to respect you. So I didn't respond to that, and more so it turned me off to Georgia guys. I did talk to some male athletes because they were a little bit different. They, I don't know, I'm not trying to compare athletes to non-athletes, but just where I grew up, there was a difference. So I kind of talked to some male athletes, but nothing significant, of course, took place because I still, I'm actually considered a virgin to guys now. I've never had sex with a guy. So dated guys. There was a girl freshman year. I don't know what was going on between us because I don't believe she was bisexual or curious, but we just started this whole game where we were girlfriends. We used to tell people we were girlfriends. We walked down the hallway holding hands. We slept in the same bed when we spent the night. Nothing ever happened between us, but it was just like we were like an out couple, but not really a couple. It was crazy, but it was lots of fun. She was a cool girl. So I would say probably like once she left the school, later on down the road, I where did I first meet these kids? Oh, in Georgia, they had these like chat lines. These really, I can't say cool. They were kind of messy, but these chat lines we used to get on, and that's how we met other people. So I met a girl on the chat line, and we literally talked on the phone for like 6 months before we even met because we really couldn't get out. and go, out. At least I couldn't. My mom didn't trust Atlanta like that. So, um, couldn't really get out and about. So we talked on the phone. We finally met like 6 months later, and we started a relationship. But she went to a high school where there was like lots of gay people. My high school, there was nobody out. I remember one time I used to go to Youth Pride also. That was like a lifesaver for me. Went to Youth Pride a lot, and I just, got, I mean, that's where I pretty much got my sense of pride and wanted to connect with other gay people, and realized I was in fact gay, and would go to groups and stuff, and it was really good for me. So I went and I posted like flyers. I think I made these flyers. I got them from Youth Pride, posted them in the bathroom where nobody could see me post them, where maybe other people would see them and reach out and go to Youth Pride too, and I could have some friends. Needless to say, they lasted in the bathroom for like 5-10 minutes because I went back and like checked. Well, maybe like an hour or so, but they didn't last that long in the bathroom, so no one probably really saw the flyers. But anyway, so found this clique of girls, and like they were really fun. We had like house parties once a week. We used to go to like Piedmont Park, which is a major park out here, and just kind of hang out at the park and just have fun. It was like amazing. But the thing about it is, like, since we were, and I can say we because I was a part of it for a while, since we were a part of like a group that was, or since we were GLBT and we were kind of rejected in our schools, in our lives, we clung onto the group a whole lot, to the point to where the group was like our life. And instead of going to school, we were hanging out with each other. Instead of, going to college, I think they probably started hanging out with each other. But what happened with me is I was ditching school every Friday. People in the group were dropping out of school left and right. I never had a desire to drop out of school, never had a want, but I'm just like, one day a week is okay. No, it's not. So I looked at my next progress report, and I was like barely passing everything or not passing at all. And from that, I'm just like, you need to get your life together. So I was completely embarrassed. So got my life together, stopped hanging out with them, and I guess, what did I do then? I think I ended up dating a girl at my school, my first girlfriend, to kind of a little bit after I cut them off. Me and her connected, but I pretty much had to let it go because there was no other time for us to hang out but during school hours, because other than that we're at home with our parents because we're all like 16, 17 and under. So but anyway, so me and my first, we get together, and we have this like roller coaster ride, 1.5 year long relationship that it's crazy. But so pretty much from there, we were, in this very intense romance, and she was out. She was like, kind of like a bully to people at the school. So, she could come out and nobody's going to really bother her. So she's telling people we're together. I'm like, no, we're not together. I'm like denying it because I'm not ready to come out. So literally, I have to come out. I'm like pulled out of the closet because I'm not the type to risk my relationship because I don't want to come out. Like, who are you to, judge me based on who I love? I've never been one to let other people control my life or influence my relationship because I won't be open about it. I just never been for that. So, came out the closet, really didn't feel any riffraff at school. I guess before I even got to my first girlfriend, my mom kind of figured it out because the guys stopped calling, the girls started calling. We had a little fax line my mom would pick up. It was like the phone was broken. You could hear on the phone, but you couldn't tell somebody was on the phone. So it was very easy for you to ear hustle. So she would do that, and that's how she realized I was gay. She would approach me about it, and I would completely deny it. Until I think one day my little feelings were hurt about something some girl did. And I eventually told her. She was cool with it. She thought it was a very great way to prevent pregnancy. So she was okay with it. So pretty much came out. One thing I can say that my coming out did was a lot of the other kids in the school that were gay, they started to come out. So it was like a trickle effect, which, we were like the first out couple there. And from that, other couples came out. Other people came out. We went to prom together. I heard after that other GLBT couples went to prom together. So I felt like we kind of helped to liberate that school. Um, and I guess what I was thinking with being a single mom by choice, I hope that any woman out there that is not in a relationship that wants to be a mother that can financially take care of a child on her own. I hope that, maybe one or two sees my story or knows me personally and realize, you know what, I'm not going to, not have kids because I haven't met Mr. or Mrs. Right. I'm going to go ahead and do this by myself. And it's not ideal. It's not the way I want it for my life at all, but sometimes it is what it is. And in life, you have to go get what you want. And waiting for other people is just not going to fly. Because I think if I were to wait for the type of relationship I want to be a part of, I'd be over 35. And I could be wrong. I could meet her tomorrow, but I'm just not convinced. Yeah, not convinced. So, anyway, that's my coming out story. I look forward to hearing more of yours. Thanks.